Hey guys, welcome back to another Misery with Metals video. This is going to be, I guess, the second video in the beginner's guide to everything you need for silver pouring. Today we're going to glaze this dish here with some borax. It's going to be kind of hard to do with the phone stand and everything, so bear with me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all the shots perfect on this video, but eventually I'll get a better setup here, so... Alright, so let's go over everything you're going to need for this process. Obviously, a dish, something to hold it in. I've got it in whip tongs right now, but you can use a pair of pliers or something else. Obviously, it's going to get really hot. You don't want to hold it with your hands. Then we got our borax powder. Nothing special to it. It's just cheap, generic borax. Obviously, your torch and your Mapp gas. That's pretty much everything you're going to need. So now, what I like to do is heat up the ceramic dish, get it nice and hot before you add any borax to it. So I typically heat mine up for about a minute. If it's a bigger dish, this is a pretty small one. If it's a bigger dish, then I usually try to do sections. But because this is so small, I'm just going to go ahead and heat up the whole dish. This one I believe I heat up for a solid minute before I sprinkle any borax in there. That just kind of allows the pores and stuff to open up and for the borax to start melting as soon as it touches the dish. If it's cold and you just dump a bunch of borax in there, then put flame to it, you're going to blow a lot of that borax powder out. It just makes a mess and it takes a lot longer to do. So go ahead and heat her up real good. Alright, now we're adding the borax. You can see it already starting to melt and bubble up. Let that sit for a couple seconds before you hit flame to it. Now you can see it really starting to kind of come together and form. No, it's actually starting to melt. I usually start in the middle, like I'm doing here. Get that nice and done, so you can see it pulling up there. When it pulls up like that, I like to hit the flame directly at it, and then you can kind of manipulate where you want it to flow. Add a little bit more borax, here and there. But it's not a super complicated process. Just you're using gravity and heat to kind of move this stuff around, cover basically all the surface inside of your dish there. The top part's not super important. I like to get the top by the spout, and I make sure I get the spout really good, and the outside of the spout too. But as far as the rest of the dish, the top side isn't super important. So I'm checking it every now and then. It's kind of a pain in the ass to do this in front of a camera, but I'm trying to make it work. It's hard to see with in this video, but when you're actually doing it yourself, you can see the borax flowing. Obviously, the hotter you get that flame and the closer you get it to it, it's going to flow a little bit faster, but just kind of rotate it around and make sure every area inside of there is covered. Well, you can see that top portion and the left side turned out pretty nice. Now we're going to sprinkle some borax on, that bottom portion. Make sure we glaze that nicely. Just kind of work your way around the dish. Take your time. It's not a super fast process, but if you get it right the first time, it's going to save you a lot of headache in the end. Just be kind of methodical about it. And before you color good, just inspect it and sprinkle a little here and there. You should be good to go. All right, we got some borax on the outside of the spout there, and looks like the rest of the dish is nicely covered. Now I'm kind of inspecting for any spots that maybe somehow missed. I go back and touch those up. As the borax hardens and cools down, you'll actually see it kind of start to crack a little bit. No big deal. It's not your dish cracking. It's just that top layer glaze. Here's a little side-by-side comparison. You can clearly tell the difference there. You want it to look kind of shiny, and once it cools down, you'll actually be able to rub your finger in there and feel how smooth it is versus how rough it is on the one that hasn't been glazed yet. Alrighty, well, thanks for watching this video. I hope it can help somebody. These are obviously really small dishes, so if you're going to be using a bigger one, it's going to take you quite a bit more time and more borax. But this borax is pretty cheap. Really, you could probably just go to the store and get some borax powder. It's nothing special. But appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think.